Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and today the Yankees are able to do exactly what they needed to do. They are able to take Game 3 against Toronto in New York after taking Game 2, so we take the series, and overall, kind of, it's a tough series to explain itself. Obviously we win 2 out of 3. And you're not upset about that. We needed the sweep. We really needed the sweep. And after Game 1, I really didn't have a lot of confidence. We got destroyed. 7-1 loss. It was a tough game. A good win yesterday. I was actually at the first part of yesterday's game, and then it started pouring. And I mean pouring. It was pouring. We ended up leaving. I had a 2-hour train ride home, and I was soaking wet. But, yeah, I got to go to the game, though. They ended up winning. Bednar closes that game out after a 3-1 win. And then today, a 4-3 win. Looked sketchy to start, to say the least. Volpe makes another error, and it looked like it was all about to fall apart. But, the pitching held up. Fried ended up going deep into that game. Into the 7th, I believe, and then Bednar closes it out after a Devin Williams 8th, which was whoa. I don't know why that guy gets leverage, but I guess we had no other option, so it is what it is. He ends up pitching the inning, doesn't give up a run, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. Although I really don't want to see him in spots like that coming down the stretch, especially in the postseason. I really don't want to see him in spots like that. I get sometimes you kind of just have to, based on how the bullpen was used the past couple of days. Thankfully tomorrow they do have an off day, so the bullpen resets a little bit, give a couple guys a couple days off. And I don't know if they've announced anything on Tim Hill. I checked the injuries and everything yesterday. He hasn't pitched in a week, so I wonder what that's about. I mean, I guess just hasn't been a spot for him to pitch maybe, or he's dealing with something. But the big news, the huge news about the series is this series is the first time we get to see Aaron Judge play right field again. He's playing defense again. The broadcast kind of brought it up. It seems like Chisholm's really going out there for the cutoff man, so it looks like they're really trying to avoid having pretty much they're trying to avoid Aaron Judge having to throw the baseball with any kind of with full force, I guess you could say it. Thankfully yesterday, Bellinger's in right field to throw that, make that huge play and throw the guy, who was that? I don't remember who was running. I think it was Bichette, because he hurt himself actually. To throw Bichette out, to keep it to a 2-1 game at the time, because they didn't know if they were even going to continue play of that game because it started raining so hard. But, today again in right field, just kind of lobbing it in, makes a nice play in right field, which is it's good to see, because overall, even if he can't throw, he's a way better defensive or defender than Stanton is. So it is very nice to see that. Just a good series. I mean, it's just a strange series, I'll say that. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain what I actually witnessed, because they were playing good baseball, but they were also playing really bad baseball at the same time, and they were able to get out of it, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. But that second inning today for the Yankees was, again, just another rough one. We have another 2 errors today. Yesterday's game, it was kind of just like I don't want to say like a mopey game is the best I can explain it. Just very weird, just with the rain delay, everything going on. Everything seemed rushed. I was there at this game, and Heel gets through the first 3 innings like that. It's just like that. It was crazy. It was just, everything seemed so rushed. Even the way the Yankees scored their runs were abnormal. Not a home run hit in that entire game. And then today, of course, Rice hits the bomb to start the game. It looks like we're gonna get out running. Toronto immediately scores 2 runs, and then in the 3rd inning, we just have that 3 up, 3 down, and then immediately we give that run, the 3rd run in after a Volpe error, and then the 4th, just Austin Wells throwing error, and then we end up, thankfully we ended up scoring another run, but the game ends 4-3, and we won. At the end of the day, we won, and that's all that matters. So basically what it looks like now is Boston, I believe, is 2 games out, if I'm not mistaken. Let me be 100% sure now. I think Boston is 2.5 out from us, and then no, so Boston is 2 games out from us. I don't think they've played yet today. No, they're still playing. They're tied in the top of the 4th as I'm recording this video. But we're now 2 games back from the Blue Jays, but we're actually 3 games back. The Blue Jays destroyed us this year. They have the tiebreaker over the Yankees, so the Yankees have to have a game advantage over them to win the division. There's no way around that, so the Yankees will still need to gain another 3 games on Toronto, and let me see. I don't think there's a lot of games left, but 6. Oh, well, no, we still got a decent amount of games. There's 6, 13, 14, 19. So there's still 20 games left in the season, so it's very possible to gain 3 games. I mean, we gained 4.5 games in the past 2 weeks, so it is doable. It's not impossible. It's going to be tough, but if the Yankees can do the exact same thing, this next week, 2 against Detroit and 2 against Boston, I almost said Baltimore. I think they put themselves in a really good spot because they have 2 series against Baltimore to end the season. They have a series against Chicago to end the season. Who else do they play? And they have a series against Minnesota, and all 4 of those teams have been bad this year. I know Baltimore has been playing better as of late. I know this is Vinny Thomas Inks, but something crazy. Yamamoto had a no-hitter going into the 9th yesterday. To the 9th inning, there's 2 outs. You need 2 more strikes. Jackson Holiday ends up hitting a home run to end the no-hitter, and then I almost said Boston, and then. Why am I blanking? And then the Dodgers just completely fall apart and end up losing that game with the 9th going up 3 runs with the no-hitter there was only 1 out needed. It was insane. It was kind of cool to watch when MLB posted it, but back to the Yankees anyways. But again, the Yankees have a very, very, very easy schedule to end the season after Detroit and Boston. So even if they just play 500 this next week, you have to keep the standings where they're at. Let me see. I want to see who Toronto ends up playing, because I know Toronto actually has one of the harder. So yeah, they have one of the harder ones. So they have Houston, who was Yankees kind of beat them up, but they're still a good team. Baltimore, who has been playing good, but they're still Baltimore. And then they have Tampa Bay, who's been playing out of their minds. Kansas City, who's fighting for a spot, and then they have Boston again, and then Tampa Bay again. So they definitely have a much harder schedule than we do to end the season. I believe every single team they play for the rest of the season is 500 outside of Baltimore. Yeah, every other team they play outside of Baltimore is 500. And after Detroit and Boston, we don't play another team that's over 500 for the rest of the season. So the Yankees really they need to win games that are, they should win at the end of the day. But overall, with the series in hand, Kevin Gausman did what he was paid to do. He completely shut the Yankees down. Watching that game, I thought the Yankees were way, way too aggressive. I think he was in 60-something pitches through the 6th inning. Cam Schlittler pitched terribly. He was at 66 pitches through an inning and 2/3, and Gausman did that in 6 innings. So the Yankees, thankfully, the next 2 games didn't have an issue getting to the starting pitching, as they did get 2 runs off Bassett, and then today I believe they got all 4 runs off Scherzer, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong though. I didn't watch 3 innings of that. I don't remember how they even scored their 4th run. But the Yankees did what they had to do the last 2 games. We hit 80 wins for the season. Still possible for a 100-win season. I'm just saying. Not gonna happen. But hopefully we get to. The hope would be to get to 92 wins. It is not possible to get to 100 wins. We have 19 games left. Jesus, my math's terrible. I went to school to be an engineer too. My math's bad. That's pretty bad. But the Yankees get the job done. I know Fried struggled a little bit today, but he was able to get out that 3rd inning and keep the score 3-3, and then go another 3 innings without giving up another run. So he did his job. We got Rodon going tomorrow. Rodon, or is it Warren? I think it's Rodon. No, we don't have anybody going tomorrow. We have an off day. Jesus Christ, Vinny. Oh, God, get with the program. Tuesday, we have Warren going first. So Rodon's game 2. and that means Schlittler would be game 3, right? Yep, Rodon's game 2, and then game 3 we got Schlittler going. Hopefully we get to skip out on school ball, but Detroit hasn't announced their game 3 starter yet, and it would technically be school ball on normal rest, so it wouldn't be surprising to face school ball in game 3. Hopefully we don't. He's been amazing this year, and we really need to win some of these games, and it's going to be hard to beat school ball, but overall I'm like 50-50 with the Yankees. I mean, don't get me wrong, this week they go 4-2 against 500 teams, and that's one of the main talking points we came in here about, and came into this week about before going to Houston was they were bad against teams above 500, and they weren't bad. They were at 500 for teams above 500, which actually is one of the better records in baseball, but they had a problem beating good pitching, and they had a problem beating teams above 500, and that was the big knock that they were getting into. Now they're 2 games up on 2 games over 500 on teams above 500. Wow, I'm saying 500 a lot. Holy crap. But really come into this series and just prove. I mean, the Blue Jays had the best record in the AL. They might not anymore, but they're either tied or have the best record in the AL. So no, Detroit now overtakes. No, they're tied. Them and Detroit are tied for the best record in AL. So that proves enough to me. Although I'm still a little worrisome about our bullpen. Our bullpen, although has technically got the job done, they still look a little bit sketchy. I'm still not really 100% like trustful with them, if that's what I'd say. One night Weaver's amazing. The next night he gives up a homer. Bednar, although he has been getting saves, has been doing it. It's been pretty sketchy, man. Camilo Duvall still looks really bad. Devin Williams, one game he's regular Devin Williams, and next game he's a 5-year-old throwing on the mound left-handed, just lobbing him in. And then Cruz has been amazing. You can't say nothing about that. But and then everybody else has just done what they normally do. But the back end of our bullpen is either completely lights out or completely falls apart. So obviously they need to work on something like that. And again, I still want to hammer down with Aaron Boone that him and his coaching staff need to find the proper 6, 7, 8, 9. I think, like I said before, I think 9 is 100% Bednar, but I know you have so many closers on the team. One day one's not going to be available, so you want one to go to the 7th, and one day you want one to go to the 8th. That would normally be maybe the 6th inning. So obviously it's tough, and it's depending on the matchups, depending on the day, but I kind of want to get away from that just a little bit because I feel like guys are uncomfortable being moved around, especially Camilo Duvall. I heard from a lot of Giants fans when I asked them, my Giants fans friends were like, what to expect with the Camilo Duvall. They were just really, really good stuff, but really bad under pressure and is very wild, and that's all the Yankees have really seen to this point. So hopefully they can find him a little bit more of a spot where he's a lot more comfortable. He's not so uptight, maybe. I don't know what it is. Maybe not so stressed. Can calm down a little bit, because a closer is supposed to be able to feed off that pressure, to get under pressure but not fold and complete the game. Duvall does not seem like the pitcher that can do that. He seems like once he gets under pressure, he kind of crumbles. And then Weaver, who has been very good, he's just, he gets into those this season at least, he's gotten to those little stretches where he'll go 3, 4, 5 games, give up a run each outing, or just struggle in the outings. And I know yesterday, I don't think he technically gave up a run, but he did get to the point where Cruz had to come in, finish the 7th, and then Cruz ends up finishing the 8th, and then Bednar closes in the 9th. But still, it's just our bullpen. I think a lot of us can agree our bullpen is so scary to watch. Other things I've noticed is Ben Rice at first base is definitely not a Goldschmidt at first base. Ben Rice has not been great at first base. I know he was holding his own. Holding his own for most of the season, but if you watch these past couple of games, he just not been great at first base. But he's destroying the baseball, so I'm not going to be too angry at him. And then, of course, Volpe makes another error today, and Volpe is just making me so angry watching him play, bro. And any single, like, earlier in the season, you know, he may not have had the greatest batting average, but at least when there was guys on base, he was putting a bat on ball. Now he just, every moment he has an opportunity, you know, maybe he has to build some confidence, it seems like he just tries to hit a home run and be a hero. But the problem is, he's not even nowhere near a hero right now. He's like the Yankees' #1 enemy right now. Yankees fans' #1 enemy on the Yankees right now, and he just strikes out almost every single time. He's putting on terrible at-bats, looking at strikes, swinging at balls. It's just more of the Anthony Volpe struggles, and I really hope he can figure it out. Hopefully what happens, you know, we come postseason time, we're all excited, and he has a huge postseason like he did last year. That would be awesome. But the facts are the facts right now. He's still playing bad, still making a lot of errors, and you know you have Ben Rice over there at first base, and you continue to make him pick almost every throw you make. It's getting a little aggravating. And then, because, you know, you have the guy right next to him, Ryan McMahon, and he's just one of the nicest gloves I've ever seen. He's just so smooth with it, and it's really, really nice to have a solid defensive third baseman. As Ryan McMahon is another talking point. On top of his great defense, he's also been hitting the ball quite well. After today, this dropped, but coming in today, he was hitting 300 over his last 10 games. I believe it was like 12 for 36, something like that. I think it was 12 for 36, around there. Had a homer, OPS over 900 in his last 10 games. So hopefully his bat comes alive. Again, I know he didn't do much today at the plate, and I don't think he really did much yesterday either. But overall, like, his bat is on the come up, so hopefully his bat can get going, because if his bat gets going, he's just a complete baseball player you want around at all times. And then, other than that, man, I know Aaron Boone talked about this. I did want to talk about this. I don't want to forget talking about this. Is with Jazz Chisholm Jr. and a little bit of his I don't want to say anger issues. I don't think he has anger issues, but like, he's kind of been getting hosed at the plate. He's got a lot of bad calls, and you know, Jazz is very, very emotional, and I like emotional. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's overly emotional. I think he's overreacting a lot, and I know some of these aren't strikes, like 98% of them aren't strikes, but they're really close. They are close pitches, and he's just freaking out, throwing everything, just grabbing his helmet, staring at the umpire. And again, I get it, because it's aggravating. You're in a battle for the division, and you want everything to go to your way, but it doesn't happen like that all the times, and sometimes you can't even control what happens. So, like Aaron Boone said, I definitely agree with this. With what Aaron Boone said, is like, it's okay to be upset, but you have to learn to move on. And even in the dugout, you can kind of see he just keeps going. He keeps shaking his head. He keeps, like, he'll talk to guys. Oh, that was such a bad call. That ball was out. Blah, this and that. You got to move on. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much, but he's got to learn to move on and keep it going, because he's a great baseball player. And when he gets in one of those streaks, man, he's one of the best to do it on the field. So hopefully he can, you know, chill out a little bit. Again, we got 2 big series left, and then everybody else is cake. I don't want to say that, because it is baseball and anything can happen, but the thought process, at least, is you got 2 huge series left. If you can sweep, I don't think we're going to be able to sweep Boston, but if we could sweep Boston and really get over the edge, and even if we did have that wild card series, gain the confidence against Boston, and then the wild card series can be at home in Yankee Stadium, so have the confidence that we can beat this team and we're at home, I feel a lot more comfortable about playing Boston. Just focus on Boston, focus on Detroit, just get every bad call is going against me, because don't get me wrong, we got hosed in Houston, but we still took 2 out of 3, which should bring them enough confidence to know, even with everything going bad, going wrong, all the stuff piling on top, they can still come out and just get a W at the end of the day, which is the most important thing. And overall, that's all that matters. But that's really where I'm going to end it today. There's a lot more to talk about, a lot more stuff going on. I don't want to get too in depth and all that. We are on a high right now. We've been playing so good lately. Past 3 weeks we've been on fire, almost probably a month now. So that play needs to keep going. We've had, I think, to this point, and for the last month, we've had the best record in baseball. That needs to stay that way. And now we've shown that in 2 series in a row that we can do it against teams above 500, 2 of the better teams in the American League. And now we're going to go against another 2 of the better teams in the American League. So 4 straight series against all teams that are probably going to be in the postseason. We can face any of these teams. So got to get the job done, and we've shown that in the first 2 series. But again, that's where I'm going to end it. So I appreciate you, everybody watching on the YouTube side, and of course listening on the podcast side. Every last one of you is amazing. As I continue to grow, I'm not growing that fast, but I'm getting, followers on social media, new subs about I'm getting about 1 a day. Nothing crazy, but I appreciate every last one of you, and I hope all of you have a good day, night, morning, whatever it is. And of course, go Yankees.